Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another parking lot preview. Next to Mike Maynard, I'm Matt Coates. Happy Monday. It is the 17th, and we're home at McKean Park for the Hyannis Harborhawks facing off against the Brewster Whitecaps. Mike, why don't you tell the fans a little bit about what happened last night?
We got a beautiful day today. Yesterday, also another beautiful night. Hyannis played in Harwich against the Mariners. Another win, back-to-back wins, 5-1 last night. In the first road game of the year, John Gazdar continued to stay hot, a home run in that game, up to 5 RBIs now. You were looking for him to tie that five-point mark. Now he's gotten it. The pitching, though, really stood out.
Yep.
1 run again. First game, no run. Second game, 1 run. I think it was 5 different pitchers got action last night. So the pitching staff has been really successful. And the offense, again, 5 more runs again last night. So the team's been on a roll so far to start. Another game here, third game. The guys are getting used to it. The guys are getting used to the Cape, and we're looking for another good game tonight.
Yeah, like you said, Mike, when you start first game of the season with a 10-0 victory, and then you only allow 1 spot in the second game, you can't help but feel great about your pitching staff. And I think the manager, the players, and everyone around the organization feels that way. Pitching staff going, what is it, the first 16 innings of the season with only allowing 1 run? That's kind of a recipe for success, if you ask me.
Yeah, and there were some times where it didn't look like it was going to be that way. Even bottom of the 9th last night, Stone Cushing got in a little bit of a jam. Bases loaded, 3-2. I know the assistant pitching coach, Tanner Kuna, came out there to come kind of calm down and say, hey, we got this. Stay loose, stay calm, and just pitch like you can pitch. And he got out of it, got out of the jam. And again, the pitching staff as a whole really has been successful, and that's going to be a key to this game as well, I think.
Yeah, I talked to manager Mitch Carragher after the game last night, and I said, people are going to look at that box score without watching the game and not realize the heartache that we had watching that game in the bottom of the 9th inning. And I asked him how he felt about that, and he just said Stone Cushing has been in plenty of high leverage situations at BYU. They use him as a closer at that school, so he's so used to this. When he was out there, even with the bases loaded, he trusted his guy. Went out there, got 2 Ks in the bottom of the 9th, and we left with a W.
It really shows that this pitching staff can get through all different kinds of situations. We've had good starts, we've had good guys coming out of relief. It really seems like this is going to be the strong suit of the team this year.
Yeah, and I hope it continues tonight and going forward for the rest of the season. With that being said, Mike, I'm going to give you guys a little look at what Brewster did last night. Last night, they won a very close game against Bourne Braves, the reigning back-to-back champions. They are falling to 1-1, but Brewster with a big victory. 4-3 victory at home. They fell behind early, conceded 2 runs in the top of the second inning, then bottom of the third, came back, added 3 runs of their own, and they didn't look back. Won 4-3 to final. Their lineup, extremely well balanced. Everyone in their lineup from 1 through 9 got on base, either a hit or a walk, and no one had more than 1 RBI, evenly spread out throughout the team. Big victory there against the reigning champions.
Very impressive, and something Hyannis has kind of done the first 2 games as well. The lineup really balanced throughout. I mean, John Gazdar, as I mentioned earlier, has kind of been the standout, but most of these guys have been getting on base, making plays happen, stealing some bags, and getting in scoring position and coming around and scoring some runs. So both these teams got guys 1 through 9, like you mentioned, that can really get on base and make things happen in a big way.
Our starter today, Nick McKay, is going to look to stop that efficiency out of the Brewster lineup today. Nick McKay, for those who don't know, 6-foot-tall right-handed pitcher out of South Dakota State University this season. 71.2 innings pitched, 3.64 ERA, 96 strikeouts, only 36 walks as a senior. He had 13 appearances, and in 1 game against Oral Roberts, he struck out 13 batters in 7 innings. So, Mike, we can tell just from those stats, this guy's electric. He has great stuff, a strikeout guy. I'm really hoping we can see that same stuff today as he's going to go out there, hopefully strike out some Whitecaps.
It's crazy to see that this is your 3rd game starter here for the Harborhawks. This pitching staff, as I keep mentioning, is a strong suit for sure, and McKay's going to be just like that. You said 96 strikeouts in 71 innings is almost unheard of. This guy's going to come out here and deliver 5 pitches, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and cutter. He's got anything he needs in his repertoire to get batters out, and it's going to be really important against these Brewster Whitecaps here tonight.
Yeah, I talked to some guys in the baseball operations department, and they described it as throwing the kitchen sink out there. 5 pitches, he's going to throw so many things at the batter. They're going to be sitting there to 2-2 count, like, what's coming to me? What's he going to throw this time? He has so many pitches. I think that's versatility is a great weapon, for Mr. McKay out there.
Yeah, for sure. And then we'll move on to Brewster's starting pitcher, Aston Crowther, 6'3" left-hander out of Miami, the University of Miami there. 36.2 innings pitched, a little bit of a high ERA, 7.36, 28 strikeouts, 29 walks as a redshirt freshman. So a young guy able to really show his growth here in this one. It'll be probably some of the best competition he's played against, so we'll see what he can do. But 15 appearances, 7 starts. He's got those starts under his belt. He's got a little bit of experience, and he'll have that time to grow here over the course of the Cape. But first start, got to get the jitters out for both of these guys, but it should be a good pitching matchup here for tonight.
Yeah, like you said, maybe you look at those numbers and you don't think those are the best you've ever seen, but there's a reason he's on the Cape. Best collegiate baseball league over the summer, and so we know he's here for a reason. Hopefully he doesn't do too great tonight. I want to see a Harbor Hawks victory, but I'm not going to look at those numbers and assure one. You know, he's here for a reason, and we'll see what it is for tonight.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of guys that maybe the stats aren't really there in their college time, but these guys have the ability, the athleticism, excuse me, and they're able to make plays when it's really time to do so. So I think you can't really judge a book by its cover here. We got to see how it plays out, and it's a very different league. Wood bats, different fields, everything's different. These guys really need to prove what they can do here, separate from college. It's a very different setting.
Yeah, Mike, you mentioned it. You look at the Harbor Hawks lineup, 1 through 9. Everyone's producing. Pitchers, everyone's producing. We have to pick a player of the game. I'm not really sure how we're going to do it. I'm going to throw one out there. He might not even be in the lineup today because we have so many great players. The name I'm giving you is Anthony Silva. Didn't play last night, started game 1. We talked about it. We have such a great middle infield here in Hyannis. He is a TCU product, started at shortstop game 1, pushing John Gazdar, Brooks Wallace Award finalist, over to second base. Just shows how great he is defensively. In his first game effort here on the Cape, he had 1 hit, he drew a walk. Great defense, great offense, smart on the base pass. If he's in the lineup today, I think he's going to do great, so I'm going to throw that pick out there. But so many guys to choose from.
It's really tough. He got the night off, though, last night. Maybe he should be in for a good night tonight. I agree with you. It's really tough to pick one. I'm going to have to go with Kane Kepley, though. The outfielder out of Liberty has gotten a little bit of a hot start as of late. 6 out of his first 7 plate appearances reached base. He's a guy that's got some speed, too. I talked about those stolen bases earlier. Hitting towards the top of the lineup, getting in scoring position for his guys. Sorry if you hear a fire alarm in the background also. We don't know what's going on. But Kane Kepley, I think, is in for another big game. And I think that he'll be a really big part of this offense. And like you said, it's going to be a lot of guys to pick from. Hopefully we're picking guys that are even in the lineup, because at this point, there goes fire alarm again. But at this point, we don't really know who's going to be producing because there's so many guys to pick from. So it's a fun time to be a Hyannis Harbor Hawks fan, and a fun time for us to try to pick player of the game.
Yeah, you might make us look silly if these 2 guys are out of the lineup, but I have a feeling at least one of them will be. So hopefully we look good. Like you said, Kane Kepley, I think that's a great pick. First 2 games, he's been a demon on the base path. Him and Parker Brocious, 1 and 2 in the lineup. When they get on base, it seems like they have a green light to steal bases, especially early. It's been a recipe for success. You saw last night, started the game 2-0 in the first inning, and then we got off to a lead in the first game as well. So hopefully those guys keep it up at the top of the lineup, and we keep winning.
I agree. Those guys keep the speed in the outfield, too. It's not just hitting. Defense as well can give you player of the game. Maybe make some web gems in the outfield. Who knows? So should be a good one. We're excited against the Brewster Whitecaps here tonight.
That being said, Mike,
Go Hawks.